Hello, my name is Fran and I took this video about a month ago, but I procrastinate a lot. But in this video, it basically goes over the tour of the piers, then it goes to Alcatraz, and in the mix of that, there's some voiceovers as well of some of the things, just so you have some insight into what was going on and what things were happening in the background. So I really do hope you enjoy the video.
That line in Oakland is long. Because you okay.
San Francisco is a very toll-heavy city, so one option to avoid tolls is taking a ferry across the bay to San Francisco. And you'll see a lot of commuters do this just because it saves money and it's not that long of a trip. Overall, this part of the city is very clean, and one of the main spots you can go to is the marketplace. And this is an indoor eating area and just an area where you can shop for really cool things. So, yeah. Another thing San Francisco is known for is the trolleys that go throughout the whole city. You can see one right here. At Pier 15, there's the Exploratorium, which is a mathematics and science museum where people can tinker and play with things. So we were getting pretty close to the ferry at this point, and the ferry ride took about 10 to 15 minutes, and all you really had to do was show them your tickets and they would let you through the gate and you would get on, and then there kind of would be some narration of the island and what you could do and what you couldn't do. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So after we got off the boat, there was a park ranger waiting for us, and he basically explained the history of the island, attractions that were open, and also kind of things that were closing soon as well. But I didn't want to put that in this video because it was just a lot of people and you couldn't really hear much. So the rest of this video will be showing the attractions at Alcatraz. So the first thing we went to go see was the Red Power Room, which basically displayed the occupation of Alcatraz by Native Americans for 19 months. And at this time, it basically was a protest against the US government taking away their land. Before entering the Red Power Room, there was documents of prisoners at Alcatraz and some short information, as well as there was a whiteboard where you could write what is the purpose of prisons. So yeah. After reading and walking through that room, you can then enter the Red Power Room, which shows the occupation of Alcatraz through photos, documents, artwork, and so many other interesting things. So hanging by this window were basically a bunch of letters from people who were writing to other people during the occupation. And so you can also pause the video and read some of them. I also want to add here the Alcatraz proclamation that Native American made while they were occupying the island over this wall video, because my dad kind of gets in the way with his good old backpack. So this was a proclamation they made, and it basically shows what they wanted. And yeah, so you can pause the video and read it if you'd like. And then there was this other wall that showed photos of Native Americans occupying Alcatraz. After that, we went to the greenhouse, as well as we saw the fire station, which was pretty cool. And then after that, we went to the prison. So the next few clips will show the exterior of the prison before we went inside. And I thought it was cool to add these in before, because this is kind of the order of how we went through everything. So I hope you enjoy that. also wasn't that smoggy. You can also see the Golden Gate Bridge. We went the opposite way of where you're supposed to start, so we had to get our audio devices after we went to the recreation yard. So the inside of the prison was pretty quiet because of the audio tours, and the tours were narrated by some of the people at the prison, like these officers. So the cutoff area leads into one of the main hallways. D block was where they put a lot of the bad guys, and there also were solitary confinement cells as well. This was the prison library. After that, there were some cells that had been decorated to show what prisoners might have in their cells. At this time, they were talking about windows where visitors could talk to the inmates, and so I was a little confused here because I thought this was one of them, and I was like, dang. It's outside, so they had to be in the cold, but that's not the case. The next part displayed one of the cells that prisoners used to escape from during that big escape, which was also on the news, and yeah, they never found the guys though. This is another view of what the halls look like. After that hall, you would enter into the kitchen, which had a few benches and stuff, and then it also showed the kitchen in the back, which was barred off. And what was cool is it did show the cutouts of the knives, so if they were gone, they would be aware. After the kitchen, that was about it for the tour. There were a few posters that had information about incarceration and the last prisoners. But then after that, there were some other things that you could see, which were where the watchmen were for the prison, and then what one of them might look like. And yeah, there also was, I think a gun. Yeah, there was a gun there. It was fake. Or just not, there wasn't anything in it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But this wasn't in the audio tour. This area was kind of where people could enter the prison. It wasn't where all the prisoners were, because this was kind of before you went to the visitor area. And then there also was a fireplace, which was nice, wood burning. And then some, things on the wall, posters. And then there was this cool Alcatraz 3D model. So, yeah. And after all of that, that was basically the end of the prison, I got some outside shots. So this was basically the outside of that building. So it's called the administration building. And then I got some of the views and some photos. And then we had to rush to the ferry. And I want to add that this isn't the full tour of Alcatraz, because there were some other buildings that we had gone into and looked at. So there were other things, but they weren't really a part of the audio tour. but you could like take a look and all that type of stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool that they had that. Then the last thing that we weren't able to do was the agave trail, which I was able to get a clip of on the ferry, and that kind of just basically went back up to the prison. And so, yeah, that was about it. And then there was this 3D model of Alcatraz again when you got off the ferry. And so, yeah, that's the end. And I hope you enjoyed the video.